Hello, welcome to my channel. This is Awakened Taurus 1111. This video is going to be about romantic compatibility. This will be a fun one for me. I've kind of put this video off a little bit because there's a lot of basic information that you're going to need to know how to go look for before you can actually do this right. Let's get right into Zodiac romantic compatibility. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is separate the male and the female, depending on which one you are. Have your person of interest. Now, it's best to have both of you go out and pull your natal chart. So I've made videos on how to do that. If you watch part 2 of the natal video basics video I made, it will show you exactly how to go and pull your natal chart. So that would be, I think, the first thing that you want to do. That way you have all the information available. And once you have both yourself and the person of interest pulled, then you can kind of go through this exercise that I'm going to show you. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is write down the sun, moon, rising, or ascendant, and the Venus sign of both parties, okay? Now, once you have that written down, write it down somewhere where you can make some, some notes or something onto the piece of paper or the board like this that I'm writing on. So the first thing you want to do is you want to look at each sign. And if any of the signs are the same, then give yourself 1 point, okay? So if your sun is in Taurus on the male side and your sun is in Taurus on the female side, then you get 1 point, okay? So you go through each one, so sun, moon, rising, and Venus. If they're all in the same sign, then you could obviously get 4 points. If you have like 2 or 3 connection points within these, once we go through this exercise, you're already going to have a strong romantic, magnetic pull towards each other, okay? Just based on your sun, moon, rising, and your Venus signs, okay? So the next thing to do is go through and look and see if any of your signs are within the same element or within an element that would mix well. So if you remember some of my other videos that I've made, air and fire go together, and then water and earth go together, okay? So if your signs are elementary complementary, so you have earth and earth or earth and water, and go through each one of your signs, and then give yourself a point for each one of those, okay? So obviously the first person that I made a reference to, let's just say this is really hardly ever happens, I don't know, but if let's say each sign was in the exact same sign, so you've already gotten 4 points for that. Now, if the next set of qualifications that I just went over is the elementary qualification. So that this person that I spoke of, if they had all the same signs, they would also get 4 more points. So they've already gotten 8 points. So that person's like, wow. So this connection. Now, the next connection point is you want to look for polarities. Polarities are the opposite. So it's kind of like an opposites attract thing, okay? So you can look at each other's sun, and I've listed all the polarities down here. So the polarities are Aries is opposite of Libra, Taurus is opposite of Scorpio, Gemini is opposite of Sagittarius, Cancer is opposite of Capricorn, Leo is opposite of Aquarius, and then Virgo is opposite of Pisces. So you can go through each one of your signs, your sun, moon, rising, and Venus, and any of those signs that are in polarity, you can give yourself a point for that. Now this particular person here, obviously they had the same sign in each one, so they don't get any points for the polarities. But if there were some connection points between the two people that you're comparing that had polarities in any of their signs, then you get a point for that. Okay, because that becomes like an opposite attract thing. Now, the last compatibility that I want to look at is if your sun or your rising is either in the same sign or a compatible sign. Okay, so if your sun is in Taurus and your rising is in Taurus on the other person, then you get a point for that. Okay, or if the sun is in a sign that's compatible with the rising. So in other words, if your sun, I keep using Taurus as a example because I'm a Taurus, but if your sun is in Taurus and then your person's rising sign is in Virgo, which is another earth sign, or it's in Capricorn, which is also an earth sign, then those two connection points, then you have a connection there, okay? And you would get a point for that. And then also you can do the same thing as I'm showing here with your Venus and your moon. If someone's Venus is in the same sign as the opposite partner's moon, there is going to be a really strong magnetic, it'll just be like a pull, because your moon is how you feel, okay, how your emotions, how you feel, and then your Venus is how you love. So if these two signs are in the same sign, that's a very strong. I only give 1 point for that, just like we go through that exercise. So you can get 1 point for your Venus and moon, and then 1 point for your sun and rising. But really, if you've got this connection point right here, it's almost like worth 2 points. So you can go through this exercise. Now, remember, the Venus and the moon can also be in the same element as well and get a point, or an element that is compatible, okay? So like, again, earth and water, and then air and fire are compatible elements. Again, if you're confused on any of this, you can go back and watch my other videos. I have natal chart videos. I have elementary compatibility videos. So watch the triplicities and the quadruplicity videos. That'll give you more information if you need it. But if you go through this exercise, it's kind of fun, and see how many connection points that you come up with. If you have like 2 to 3 connection points, that's going to be a pretty strong compatibility. If you have 3+, let's say you got 6, that is just wow. I mean, you're going to have a really strong compatibility. Now, that's not to say that this is all that goes into a relationship that makes a relationship work. You know, obviously there's many other factors that go into a relationship, emotional maturity, self-love, you know, and even the physical attraction point. Typically, the first thing that pulls two people together before they've even met each other is a physical attraction point. So there's all those different things that go into making up compatibility as a whole, but this can really give you a good picture of how well you're going to be compatible with someone. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed this video. It's been fun to make. If you have any comments, please leave them down below. If you haven't already joined my channel, please do, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.